after the narcissist's silence comes something very dark, something very sick and twisted, and something that you may not expect, something that you may never have seen coming. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in this video. It's really just exploring what the narcissist is going to do next. You see, they go quiet, but then if you give it time and you don't react to the silence, they come back with chaos. Because their silence was never about peace. Their silence was never about breaking away from you. It was just bait. It was designed to lure you back in, to get you to chase after them. And that is why when you don't chase after the narcissist, they break the silence with noise. And there are various ways that they might do this. So as an example, if you're living with the narcissist and they're being silent with you, but you're not reacting to it, all of a sudden, they will start making noise, literal noise. They may slam a door. They may start playing loud music, but they will do something to regain your attention, to get you to focus on them again. Because this is it. It was never that they wanted less from you. You have to remember your value to them, how important you are to them, how you sustain them. Remember, we're talking about narcissists here. People who have a mental illness. They cannot live without supply. They need attention, validation, a sense of control and superiority from their source, which is you. They can't live without it. So anything that they do, it's never that they want less of you. They always want more. They are very greedy, very insatiable. They always want more from you. So when they go silent, it's to get you to invest more, not less. And yeah, one of the ways that they may start making noise to regain your attention, if you're living together, they may just start slamming doors, just making deliberate noise like that. But if you're not together and they've gone silent on you, they've disappeared, trust that no matter what situation they've moved on to, no matter who they are with, they are not happy, they are not satisfied. Because what they really want is you. What they really want is your attention, your reactions, your validation, because it ended badly with you. And you fed their ego in a way that no one else could. You made them feel attractive, important, desirable, powerful, in control. You made them feel all of those things. And they're never going to find anyone else who can abandon themselves and make it all about them to where they get to feel that way again. It's never going to be that way for them. So when they go silent, recognize it as a tactic. It's strategy. It's designed to regain control because they are feeling insecure by being in contact with you. Being in contact with you is not making them feel good about themselves anymore. It's not making them feel in control. And the reason why is because they don't feel good enough for you. And they don't feel good enough for you because you've seen through the false character. You've recognized that you're dealing with someone who is disordered, someone who has issues. So that's why they pull away. And they're hoping that when they do pull away, you're going to miss them. You're going to reminisce about the good times. You're going to cling to the fantasy version of them. And you're going to reach out to them. That's what they're hoping. Or at the very least, you end up longing and yearning for them, wishing that they were there. And they may just double down. They may go off and replace you with a new source. It's never going to be anyone on your level. You can be sure of that. But they will replace you. And they will flaunt this new source on social media. Or they may even stalk you in person. They may bring this new source to where you work, to the gym that you go to a cafe that you often go to, knowing that you will be there. This comes after the silence, when they couldn't bait you, they couldn't get a reaction. So now they're trying to target your nervous system, destabilize you, get you to react emotionally, get you to become sentimental about them. And it's because their silence didn't work. And they're either left by themselves, which is never going to feel good for them, or they're with this new source of supply and they're never going to live up to the narcissist's expectations. They're never going to be on your level. They're never going to be as loving, compassionate, empathetic, generous, emotionally available, which is their supply. The supply comes from a person who is emotionally available. Someone who can be open, honest, authentic, vulnerable. All of the qualities that you possess. They cannot get supply from another narcissist. Or from most people, because most people in this world are emotionally unavailable. They can't be entirely honest or vulnerable. They're disconnected from themselves. You weren't. But they took your power from you by getting you to disconnect from yourself. That's how it works. The thing is, many of you project your own ideals, your own fantasies onto the narcissist. And then you assume they must be having such a great time without you. Because you know if the narcissist actually showed up being the person that you wanted them to be, or that they made you believe that they were, you would be very happy with that. You would be very satisfied with that. And they make you believe that now they are sharing what you wanted, your ideal, your fantasy, with someone else. And they're not. It's never going to be like that for them. And all that it is, you know, when they do things like that, someone else is just validating your interests, your ideals in them. That's all that's really happening. It's nothing unique or original about them. It's a reflection of your interests and ideals. And that's how it leaves you feeling jealous in some situations. It leaves you feeling like something is being taken away from you. Because it is. They're stealing your originality. your ideas, your interests, your ideals. They've taken that from you. And they've left you with instability because normally you feel good by yourself. You're happy with your own company. And that's why when the narcissist went silent, for you, that just gave you a sense of peace. And they can see that. They can see you're very comfortable there without them. And that's why they want to stir things up. They want to cause drama, chaos now. Because they realize that their silence is not working. And that's all that it's designed to do. This new supply is just a part of the performance to get a reaction from you, which then validates their false image and it makes them feel alive. But they're still getting it from you. You are the platform. You are the safety net on which they stand on. It's not so much about the new supply. Typically, the new supply is going to be narcissistic because they're likely to know about you. So why would they accept the narcissist after knowing what they did to you? But yeah, you're never going to get any sense out of them. You're never going to sit down and have a logical discussion. It's all in their emotions. It's emotional instability. So you're never going to be able to talk to them about why they go silent or what's wrong with them. They're not going to come out and expose themselves as not being the person that they made you believe that they were. Or for just using you as supply for your emotional energy. They're not going to come out and admit that. They may not even be aware of it themselves. In their minds, you should see it as a privilege just to be around them. Or even to be abused by them. That's how they think. And that is what they expect from you. From that moment when they idealized you, when they put you on a pedestal, they expect you to always be this perfect image of you that they have in their minds from that first moment. And they expect it to be that way for life. Now, if you ever fall short of it, if you ever deviate from it, if you don't live up to their expectations, which normally happens in relationships. Of course, everything can be very fast in the beginning. You want to make a good first impression on them, which is what they want from you. They want you to be perfect in that moment, but they want it to continue. The problem is it can't continue because what was acceptable at the beginning, now a few weeks later, a few months later, they expect significantly more from you now. So you can never satisfy the narcissist. You're never going to be 100% perfect for them all of the time. And yet that's exactly what they expect from you. Is to be this perfect model, this perfect representation that then makes them feel in control. It makes them feel good about themselves. But yeah, honestly, they don't want to hear it. I mean, that's the whole point about their condition, is that they are in denial. They don't want you to go and tell them what's wrong with them. They don't want to hear about it. All they want is to keep getting supply. And, with you talking about it, with them having to accept it and be accountable, that's going to hinder their ability to get the supply from you. So anytime that you're questioning them, criticizing them, giving them any sort of feedback, they're not going to tolerate it. It's one of the traits of the DSM-5 for MPD, is that they cannot tolerate criticism. They're highly sensitive to it because it interferes with the supply. If you don't idealize them or view them as powerful, they can't get that supply from you. So that's why the criticism is such an issue for them. But yeah, after the silence, they will provoke you to see if you will react. They will try to cause chaos. And it's because they realize that you are finding peace in the silence, which is not what they wanted. They wanted the silence to be a disruption for you. That's how they expected it to be. But if the silence isn't disrupting you and you're okay with it, you're just enjoying your own company, you're finding peace in it, that's when they start to make noise. That's when they start to bait you, provoke you. Because they realize the silence isn't working. So when the silence doesn't pull you back, they escalate. Initially, they test you with stillness, then chaos. And they watch your silence harder than you think. Many of you, you think that the narcissist is just done with you. They're out of there. And now they're out somewhere with a new supply. And they've just forgotten about you. That's how you see it, because you don't know what's going on in their situation. But this is it. They're actually spending a lot of time watching you, a lot more than you think. And I mean, they are really zoned in when they go silent on you. It's a temperament checker. They're testing the waters with you to see how you react. So they're trying to gauge how you're feeling when they're silent. This is how narcissists behave. So immediately, once they've gone silent, they're stalking you on social media. They're looking at your posts. They may even be stalking you outside your home, showing up at places where you go, talking to friends or family members about you. Because they want to know, how are you dealing with it? Are you struggling without them? And if you are, it doesn't mean they're going to come back. If anything, they will just stay away from you even longer. Because that's what they want, is that supply. They realize they can't get the supply from you by being close to you, because you're seeing through it, you're exposing them, you have issues with them now. So they stay at a distance. And also, you know, what did they do before they went silent? They destabilized you, sabotaged you. So they've taken pieces of you away from you. You're left confused. And now you're looking to them for a sense of reason, stability, understanding, answers, closure. So that's why they just run with it, because they know that. They can see that now you've externalized your power. You're looking outside of yourself. You're outwardly focused. That's what they want. And they need to keep you in that state. Because when you're in that state, you're no longer providing yourself with a sense of peace, calm, resolve. But you're now giving that to them. You're worrying for them. You're making their disorder, their chaos, their silence your problem. And that's all that they want. And it all goes back to their childhood. They weren't soothed properly in childhood. Or they weren't taught how to self-soothe. Their mother, and this is in reference to Professor Sam Vaknin's dual mothership theory. Their mother did not hold them in their arms, look into their eyes, make eye contact, and soothe them. Or they were overindulged, they were spoiled. They were not given any space, they were suffocated. So they never had room to learn how to self-soothe. Typically, it's a mixture of both. It's the two extremes, the two polarities that then build someone with this disorder. And so, this is why they deal with you in this way. Always getting you to externalize your power, to be a puppet under their control, where they can push your buttons, get reactions out of you, get you to emotionally attend to them. Because they're just emotional toddlers in adult bodies. And this is why they often throw tantrums. Well, as for you, you're more mature, you're more responsible. You take the higher ground, you always try to be the bigger person with them. Naturally, that puts you at a disadvantage because you're left to deal with everything. You're left to deal with the consequences of their actions. You're left to take accountability for it all. And that's how it affects you. Because quite literally, you're taking care of a child, a big baby. And what makes it even worse is that they're pretending to be an adult. They are the child who wants to be the parents. So they want to have all of the power and control, but no responsibility. And that's what makes them so dangerous. But yeah, they watch your silence harder than you think. They are very closely attuned to you to see if it's working, to see if the manipulation, the grooming, the silent treatment, to see if it's pulling you in the direction where they want you to go. And it's no coincidence, that they pull these things out after they've destabilized you, after they've broken you down, after they've destroyed your confidence, your self-belief, because they are trying to indoctrinate you. They are trying to get you to adopt radically different beliefs about yourself, other people, and the world around you. And yes, this is highly effective. This is why there's billions of views on these videos on YouTube, because people have lost that belief in themselves. They've lost the ability to discern and understand a person's motives. They've lost the confidence in themselves. Because essentially, you've been brainwashed. That's what this is when you're dealing with a narcissist, because they're delusional. They're very arrogant and entitled. So you end up losing confidence in yourself, and by the end of it, you may even think that you're the abuser. You're the narcissist. After they just ruined your life. Think about how crazy that is. Because you've been brainwashed. And again, why do they do anything? It's to keep getting supply. What they want is this ideal character, this person who really they secretly admire everything about you. They want this person all for themselves and not even knowing their own worth. That's what they want. And they want to contain you. Essentially, they pick the best that they can find to be their supply. And then they get you into a position where you didn't even know who you are anymore. You didn't even know your own worth, of what even got you with this person to begin with, of why they even chose you. And that's exactly how they want it. They want this ideal person for themselves, under their control, where they don't even know their own worth. That's exactly how they want it to be. They want this ideal person to be their puppets, and where they can push their buttons and get reactions out of them whenever they want, because that is what regulates them. They want to take someone who's so high up and bring them all the way down, ruin them completely, get them caught up in all kinds of things that they would never normally do, just so they can sit back and laugh at them and feel like they're so much better. Narcissists are often very self-righteous. They like to think that they are better than other people. And that's why they target you, is to make themselves feel better. That's why they do anything. It's all about supply. And yeah, they quite literally will turn you into their puppets. And that's all they're doing, you know, when they go silent. They're just pulling the strings. They're just pushing your buttons again. Because like I said, you know, they target you because they idealize you. They view you as perfect. The problem is they're very envious, jealous, insecure, competitive. So they want to control you. They want to possess you. That's why they groom you, to turn you into their puppet, their plaything, so that they can just toy with you whenever they want. And when they're bored of you, or when they see another shiny new toy, which is never going to sustain them, by the way, but when they do, they just toss you back on the shelf with all the other toys. That's all that you are, as a plaything. And so when they go silent, they're playing a game. And when they come back and provoke chaos, they're playing another game. And they play to win. They play to feel like they have conquered something valuable. And really, you know, the noise after the silence, it just displays their desperation for supply, their desperation for attention, validation, control, superiority. And just remember, you know, who do they want that control over? Who do they want the attention from? Who do they want to feel superior to? You. And why you? Because you're worth it. You're something that they want to feel superior to. You're something they want to be in control of. Because they see it as a competition. And being in your presence makes them feel insecure. That's why they go silent. It's to demonstrate their superiority over you. But it's all controlled. It's orchestrated. It isn't real. Because naturally, you would surpass them effortlessly, without any problem. And this is why, you know, essentially it's like you and the narcissist, you're about to compete in a race. You're about to run a 100-meter sprint together. They will break your legs first, or they will chain your legs to a tree. And Then they'll say, all right, let's go, let's sprint. And they'll run off, they'll leave you back there. They'll take the trophy and really believe in their minds that it was fair and that they won. That's what they think. That's what these narcissists are like, and that's exactly what they do to all of you. They disable you. They disable their victims. And now they're ready to compete. And this is why they're so insecure. This is why they're so jealous, possessive, and controlling. For that reason. Because they know that they've disabled you. They know that they've stripped you of your power. And they've done it deliberately. And it's all to make themselves feel better. The problem is, only in the moment does it make them feel better. Long term, it makes them feel even more insecure. They experience suffering with this disorder. It's debilitating. That's why they need supply, because the disorder messes them up. And it's an addiction. They can never be satisfied. They can never get enough of it. But yeah, this is why they're so insecure, because they know the damage that they've done. They know that they have disabled you. And they go silent because they can see you're starting to wake up to that. You're starting to realize that you're worth more. And we're not talking about money. I mean, of course, both parties in a relationship should contribute financially. In my opinion, at least. But we're speaking more in emotional terms. Care, compassion, support. You don't get that from the narcissist. You're doing all of the work. And this is it, this is how it just drains the life out of you. It destroys your sense of self, your identity. Because they have nothing of their own. They just have a void. But yeah, this is it. This is why they go silent. It's out of insecurity. It's to provoke you. And this is the dark thing that follows the silence. It's the provocation. They make noise. Let me know what you think about what I've said to you. Drop it in the live chat. Let's talk about it right now. I'm just overlooking the view here. Excuse this sight and just admire the view in the background. Right now I am in Rwanda in Africa. Check out these birds here. The large wingspans. There's lots of interest in birds around here. I'm looking forward to going to Kenya next week and seeing more. Please ignore all of the covert narcissistic trolls in the live chat. Those of you who are my regulars will know this has been going on now for the last 2.5 years. Dozens of them are coming in every time. But strangely enough, the moderators never make it in anymore. So if you're interested in moderating on my live chats, send me an email, coach@narcsurvivor.co.uk. Because of course, I want to make this a safe space for all of you. It is my duty to protect and preserve those who are vulnerable. And of course, we all need to be protected and preserved from narcissistic people, because they will steamroll right over you and think nothing of it. They will just crush you like you're an ant. And then they'll blame you for being stuck to their shoe. That's the mentality. Because they're just so depleted, they have a void. They're so frustrated, and they're just hungry for what you possess. Viva Survivor says, Narc Survivor, you always surround yourself with world-class views. Thank you, I appreciate it. Although, of course, in the last couple of years, it's been very difficult to give you the kind of views that I used to. I mean, there just isn't the support on gear like we used to have. But of course, with all of the gang stalking and the narcissists I met, this has always been the least priority for anyone that I've met, really. I mean, their main priority is to destroy it. Of course, because they're narcissistic, they're not going to support anything that is a threat to them. But it's important for me, because I want to keep the light in this world. People who have that spark, that energy, that's what the world needs. And of course, I always focus on my own peace. But it's how the world is, there's so much drama, so much dysfunction. And it's not getting better, it's getting worse. It really is. S89KHN asks, do they ever feel remorse or actually forgive? Narcissists, people with NPD, they don't feel remorse. They don't feel bad for their actions. I mean, some of them, they may often reflect on the shame, but they justify it. Every abuser has an excuse. So they rationalize it. They blame you or someone else. You made me do it. This is your fault. I only did it because you did this. You drove me to do it. As for regrets, narcissists can feel regrets to some degree. Especially, once they've lost something, once you've got no contact. They are aware of what's good and what's not good. So when they've lost a good source of supply, of course they feel it. That doesn't mean that they're going to make a rational decision and try to make things right. No, if anything, it's going to make them feel insecure, inferior, and it's only going to drive them even more to replace you or to sabotage you and prevent you from moving on. That's how they deal with regrets. But yeah, I'm going to end this video here now. I'm going to get something to eat and finish up the editing on my next video. But yeah, I was down there yesterday as well. That's the convention center here in Kigali, Rwanda. Or at least I think it is. I will have pictures on my Instagram very soon. Alright, if this video was good for you, if it helped to alleviate some confusion and shed some light on this horrible disorder, give it a thumbs up. And comment down below. Share your ideas. And if you have any questions, if you are new to our community, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I go live again. And you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, it's Narc Survivor Coaching. Facebook groups, it's Narc Survivor. And on X, it's Narc Survivor 18. And if you'd like to support this work, you could donate, go to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. So yeah, thank you all for joining me on another Narc Survivor live video. I do appreciate your support, and I will talk to you in another video very soon.